Native plants are really important to us, and this is our bread and butter. We're just sorting out some orders here as what's going on here. But right in front of us is an agapanthus, which is kind of the antithesis of a New Zealand native plant for many, the scourge of the environment, we're told. So nursery industry has listened to that criticism of agapanthus, which is quite valid. And what we've done is got alongside local authorities and tried to work out ones that are sterile, so they're not going to be a threat to those sensitive eco areas, which agapanthus certainly are at the moment. This is a case in point. This happens to have a variegated leaf, this one. Variegations aren't everyone's cup of tea in New Zealand, but overseas they're huge because they add all year colour. And this particular agapanthus has got a bright navy blue flower, and that is very sought after. So we're onto a winner here, and we think that New Zealanders will get round to love this again too. And so we're bulking this one up, meaning we're trying to produce as many as we can. And in a matter of a couple of years, we think that the New Zealanders market will be embracing this because it's sterile, won't be a threat to the environment, has extra big flowers, it's got a lot of things that tick the boxes. The potting mix business came about because we started making our own potting mix for all the 3 million plants we grow. So we like to do that, so we had total control of the ingredients and what was in it, and that's quite important to us. So we built up quite a lot of expertise over 30 odd years that we've been doing that. Other nurseries around here started to ask us for doing that for them too, which we were very happy to do. And it turned into quite a considerable little business. So I formed a new company which specialises in making that. We realised quite early on that the product that we were making commercially was somewhat better than you could buy in most retail outlets. Some of our friends started saying, why don't you put it in bags so we can take it home? So we thought, well, why don't we? So we came up with a good name, which happened to be my wife's maiden name, Tully, and because it sounds kind of earthy and Irish and all those good things. So Tully's potting blends, we call them potting blends as opposed to potting mixes, but Tully's potting blends were born. It's difficult to grow the nursery any bigger than what it is without starting to compete with our customers, i.e. growing the plants to a bigger stage. So we started looking at how we could make the turnover of the company bigger by accelerating some of those departments, if you like the soil mixing department. So that's where we've got to, and hence the intellectual property business for exporting.
The export side of Lyndale Nurseries has evolved into a new company called Kiwi Flora. It works with breeders to develop, protect and export new plant varieties. In this enterprise, Malcolm works in partnership with Danish-born Morten Damsted.
Kiwi Flora takes the plant breeders' genetics overseas. So at Lyndale, they propagate and sell within New Zealand. We have likewise overseas nurseries like Lyndale and sometimes much bigger, who then grows the plants and sell to their market. And for every plant that they sell, they return us a royalty that we then in turn share with the breeder. There's a range of ways of getting them into Europe and USA or the rest of the world. And one of them is the tissue culture option you have looked at with Malcolm. Other one is simply by sending a cutting or a division of a plant. And from there, the grower overseas then multiply and to have enough stock to then sell to the market. International customers are interested in anything new and unique. You've got to have something new in your catalogue every year, and that is what we provide. The challenge is, one is getting them overseas and them surviving the trip, and the other one is then getting in front of the people who make the decisions on what they want to put to market. This plant I hold in my hand here is an Adena, and this was found in Nelson by a nurseryman there, and he saw this amongst a batch of 10,000, and he thought this was unique in its colour. So the uniqueness about this is it keeps the colour through the year, where others, they go green and pale in the summer. So that's obviously very saleable. You have the red burgundy through the year. This is our new rock star, as you might call it. It's actually an Australian native plant, very drought tolerant. And in the States where they reasonably have huge droughts and short of water-wise plants has become the next new thing. So again, we try to provide a solution to a problem via plants. It was found in Australia amongst, again, another big batch of plants, and this one stood out. And from there, it's been developed from one single division to we now have over 100,000. The uniqueness is the variegators and the foliage. Usually these are green, Very few of them comes through to type like this one does. So it's very striking at the same time water-wise. It's being released in the USA next year and Europe the following year. What you have here is an Astelia, and this one is called the Silver Shadow because of its foliage colour. It was found in a nursery in Christchurch. It's actually a native plant to New Zealand. The uniqueness about this plant is that we found a market in Europe as an indoor potted plant, and that is significant because then you're talking volume, and volume means more royalty dollars back to the breeder in New Zealand. I've just been away for a month in Europe, travelling to several countries, at shows and had talks to various retailers and growers, and that's where you show them. You've got to get in front of those people, and that's what we're good at. So that's how you do it.
What's next? Well, we've still got a lot of development work with the potting mix. I think the proof's in the pudding with the plants that we grow. They're all very healthy, and that knowledge we're now in a position to pass on to the home gardener too. What happens after that? Well, watch this space.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.